to an almost literal night of enchantment on Twitchy Tuesdays. We are making our way to the solstice and it is getting dark outside. I love it. I love this time. I love when we meet up into the longest night of the year and then begin to transition out. And we are here for episode 43, which is going to focus on the radiant light of the full moon in Cancer. I won't lie, this moon I struggled with a little bit, y'all. We're going to get into it. It's going to be one of the last things that we cover today, but we are going to get into it. We are going to work through it. We are going to talk about the energy that was present. And it is truly, this full moon in Cancer is going to be casting a glow on the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, the start of Kwanzaa. And it truly, especially for me, as I was feeling into this moon, is impacting our emotions, our aspirations, what we're going to be working towards into 2024. So we are going to cover all of that in this episode. We are also going to talk about the expansion of Jupiter stationing direct in Taurus, which that is on my bingo card, y'all. I am waiting for that day. We are working towards that. Venus will also enter Sagittarius later at the end of this month, which we're going to cover today. And Chiron. Chiron is finally stationing direct in Aries, which Chiron has a huge story for us in 2024. So we will talk a little bit about that as well. It is definitely a big episode today, so you'll want to hang on with us as we learn the astrology. Stay for the tarot. Let's see what we got. We got the King of Wands. Definitely want to stay to hear all the things that we have. Let's unlock the full moon's blessings together. And we're going to start out today by cleaning out the broom closet. Here we are. This week is jam-packed. We're going to get through the week. We'll go down. So 12/19, that would be today. Juno in Virgo trines Uranus retrograde in Taurus, 19 degrees, 43 minutes. Oh, let's see what pops out. Two of Pentacles for Juno and Virgo trining retrograde in Taurus, making sense. Making sense of the chaos, making sense of Uranus retrograde in Taurus chaos, all of the things that Uranus has been doing there. This to me is that like higher perspective and bringing it forward, that higher perspective of what this all has meant. On the 20th, Vesta will retrograde back into Gemini. On the 21st, Venus in Scorpio opposes Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Juno and Virgo could also be giving you a little balance into what's going to happen on the 21st. Mercury retrograde in Capricorn will sextile Saturn in Pisces at 2 degrees, 23 minutes. Venus in Scorpio sextiles Juno in Virgo at 20 degrees, 2 minutes. The Sun in Sagittarius will oppose Vesta retrograde in Gemini, 29 degrees, 38 minutes. And if that wasn't effing enough on the 21st, by the way, it's also Capricorn season. It is Yule, blessed Yule. It is the solstice. It's what we're, all of this night, what we're working for. The 21st is a huge energy day. It is a huge transitional energy day. It's a huge, I'm hearing the word commitment. Let's see if there's any cards that want to come out. I'm hearing the word commitment. It's just a big, here we go. 7 of Rods, absolutely commitment. Committing to standing your ground where you need to, committing to taking on and boldly entering into Capricorn season, commitment to absolutely honoring all that you've fortified, fighting off. Like this can be looked at as a couple of different ways. Here you have this man on this hill. These rods could be from other people trying to knock you off the hill, trying to knock you off of your throne. I mean, it's the 21st. We are in the holiday spirit. We are in the holiday season. This could be something and show up something, that 21st energy could show up something as simple as you've made a commitment. Here's your commitment, your stakes in the ground. You've made a commitment maybe more so the commitment is the wand that you are holding, to make it super simple, to not overeat during the holidays. And guess what there is? There's grandma's house, there's Mima's house, there's Annie June's house, there's Robert, our friend's house, and his wife and family. Oh, and then there's a Chinese restaurant down the street. Oh, and then there's Chick-fil-A being, all the things. How are you holding that? What commitments are you making? How are you fulfilling those commitments? You may have to fight off all of those temptations on the 21st. All of the things. It's kind of just coming to a head in that area. Then on the 22nd, Mars in Sagittarius. Whoa. Well, let's see what Mars in Sagittarius, and out pops these three lovelies. So we have the 5 of Pentacles. We have the Magician, which popped out first, underneath it, the Empress. And then out came that 5 as the last card. So let's talk about this. 22nd is Mars in Sagittarius squaring Juno in Virgo, 20 degrees, 8 minutes. And the Mercury Cazimi, 0 degrees, 39 minutes of Capricorn. That is a powerful degree mark for Mercury to have a Cazimi. That is his halfway point to the end. So here we go. Mercury, the Magician, coming in, alchemizing something, letting the story unfold. You know, I see this Empress here with this 5 of Pentacles. There's something here about hard lessons learned. Mars and Sag squaring Juno and Virgo, the perspective of those things, the lessons learned within strife, within loss, within failure. There's something here that Mercury and his Cazimi, as he's rebirthed, let me put it this way, as he's rebirthed through this sun, through this Empress energy, through that warm embrace in Capricorn, and then we'll move and transition back to the masculine sign of Sagittarius. But this warm embrace is coming from that feminine energy of Capricorn. So as he's being embraced by the sun, as he's going through it, he can alchemize these lessons, these hard lessons learned, and say, okay, I get where we have to go now. Because remember, this is a transitionary Mercury retrograde. It's not stuck in one sign. It's not in one element. It is going from an earth element, Capricorn, back into a fire element of Sagittarius, which blends the how and the what. How do we achieve the things that we want to achieve? And then the desire and passion to do so, making sure that that desire is there to see it all the way through. Or are you getting stuck in this 5 of coins? So 22nd, 23rd, then Mercury gets back into Sag. Then immediately going back into Sagittarius, he opposes Vesta retrograde in Gemini at 29 degrees, 4 minutes. The 24th, the Sun in Capricorn sextiles Saturn in Pisces at 2 degrees, 38 minutes. And then the 25th, Mars in Sagittarius will trine the North Node in Aries, 22 degrees. Here comes out this balancing act again. This week's full of balance. This week's full of ups and downs. How do you stand on one leg? We just watched Survivor, the latest episode of Survivor. How do you stand on that podium with one leg and keep that ball balanced? So the 25th, Mars in Sagittarius trining the North Node in Aries, 22 degrees, 21 minutes. And Venus in Scorpio will trine Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees flat, which that Venus trine Neptune energy, very prevalent. Mercury energy, very prevalent as we get to this full moon, which will happen on the 26th. So we will get there. That's going to be at the end. I want to go through our checks and balances first, and I want to end in that moon because that moon is, again, there was a lot with that moon that came up as I was kind of feeling into the energy. All right. I'm going to put these down for a moment. We're going to do our Mercury and Venus check-in. So as you just saw in our cleaning out the broom closet, dang if Mercury and Venus do not have a lot going on this next week. So like it is a abundant and very energetic holiday week when really all we want, at least for me personally, all I want to do is crawl underneath blankets, sit on the couch, Netflix and chill, not have to like integrate. That's what I want. I want to integrate, not be doing, but instead be very receptive, very, chill, just going with the flow of things. And the holiday week, you just heard it, may not come. You may have to actually make moves to make that happen. And we'll talk about that too as we get further into the show. So our Mercury and Venus check-in that we've been doing all December. Venus comes back swinging after a quieter week last week. So she kind of started off December. Mercury took over. And now Mercury and Venus are kind of coming together to blend this week into two powerhouse energy signatures. She gets to talk to Uranus, who's in her home sign of Taurus. She gets to trine Neptune, which will round out our week. And this sextile to Juno in the middle. So she's got this kind of cool sandwich going on. This sextile to Juno in the middle, right after Juno herself got to meet up with Uranus. I really feel, going back to that Two of Pentacles, I really feel that, start shuffling again, that this meetup with Juno is something like, it's the stamp of approval. It's the support. It's the commitment. It's the like seal that you were waiting for. It's the yes, this is now official. Yes, you can do this now. The Emperor. It's the official decree. Emperor is here. Emperor has decreed, so it shall be. And I feel like that's what it's something you're waiting for. And I feel like that's what Venus is going to get us this week. Maybe it's even an endorsement. It could be something in that realm of like, you get you've been waiting for somebody to write you a recommendation letter, and those recommendation letters finally come in. Another way that this showed up, hold on, let's see what Six of Swords. Wait until you hear this. So this was the visual when I was thinking through Venus. When I was thinking through Venus this week, this was the visual I got. You go home to meet your partner's family for the first time. This is like, you know each other, you FaceTime, whatever, but this is the first time that you are taking a voyage, a very unknown voyage, Six of Swords. And this is the first time like, okay, this is a real thing. I'm meeting the family. And you are waiting for the endorsement of the family member, right? You've got this family member, maybe it's this family member right here, that's keeping all of these swords in the boat. It's keeping all of these swords in the journey. And that that one endorsement that then the whole family just ends up falling in line with. The whole family just ends up, oh my God, if Nan is okay, then we're okay with all of this. And because of the Uranian element with this, because it's not just Venus, Neptune, Uranus, there's a Uranian element, it might be the family member that you weren't expecting. It might be a surprise in who comes out of the woodwork to endorse you, who comes out of the woodwork to be driving this boat for you forward and really bringing that family along. And you could also be surprised with whose swords these are. Your partner may be like, look, my sister's going to love you. My mom's going to love you. You guys have already chatted. They're going to totally enjoy you. you have to watch out for Granny Edna. Granny Edna, don't take it personal. She hates everybody. She's old. She never is happy, never is anything. So just like just don't take that personally. You'll be just fine. You get to your partner's house and Granny Edna loves you. Y'all sit there like unpredictable, didn't realize, and Granny Edna chose you out of the crowd and was like, sis, Granny Edna likes you. And all of the family's like, the fuck is happening here? Granny Edna doesn't like anybody. But then some of these swords end up becoming a sibling. My brother, I thought my brother would like you. He wasn't impressed, or whatever that looks like. So that can be a way that this comes out this week as we go through Venus's journey. But you know what? Look, the Nine of Pentacles came out. No matter what Venus's journey looks like, show up and show out and be your best goddamn self. Like, you can't let me just look. This Nine of Pentacles is coming all the way over me right now. Venus and Scorpio is like, hold on, you're not accurately representing what I want you to say. So let me get this straight. You cannot control how other people feel about you. All you can do is show up. Show up in your integrity, show up in your values, show up in your truth, show up in your authenticity. And if somebody don't like that, that is not on you. Okay? Now, again, we are human. We live in a human world. There are complexities to that. But do you be honest, be truthful to you, because that is your fruitfulness, right? That is where you thrive. That is where you shine. You know what? You may not like my opinions on things. I'm okay with that. We don't have to agree on everything. But I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm not going to say things that don't align with what I truly believe. Now that can be respect. That's what this Nine of Pentacles is all about. Is about, again, you don't have to agree with me, but we need to respect each other. So that's where this comes from. Okay. Transit over to Mercury. So this week, Mercury hits his halfway point in his Cazimi. And that Cazimi is the conjunction with the sun. It marks the halfway point within Mercury retrograde. God, I feel like, look at this. Four of Pentacles. I feel like Mercury retrograde literally just got started. And we're already like at the halfway point. It's fine. So that's going to happen at 0 degrees, 39 minutes of Capricorn. This is within the birthing degree of Capricorn, that 0 degree, birthing something on a stable foundation, might I add, here with the Four of Pentacles, birthing something in a very grounded manner, which I think that is fabulous, because then he is, he's going to head right back into Sag, immediately apply to a conjunction with the galactic center. Before he can get all of that, he has to meet up with Saturn in a sextile in Saturn's home sign. Like, Mercury's just kind of like busybodying in a retrograde fashion. And that won't be over till the following week, where then he will meet up with his conjunction with Mars. And that can bring forward, thank God for stable foundations. Make sure that this is here. Make sure that you're working on that. Because with the conjunction with Mars, if these stable foundations aren't there, if you're not like cognizant and just all over with your energy, that conjunction can have a little explosivity to it. It can be explosive. It can have your thoughts, words, and energy erratic and all over the place. And, you're going to have to clean that up at one point in time. There are consequences to your action. Look, There are consequences to the action. Be sure that you choose wisely where you're going, where your energy is going, where you're looking at. Is this the right ball? Is this the right direction? Is this the right things that you want to be doing and saying during this time? So, quick review, the Mercury Cazimi on 12/22 at 0 degrees 39 minutes of Capricorn. Normally there is a freedom that comes after Mercury, boom, like comes out, right? Normally there's, hey, I get Icarus, I fly into the sun, Phoenix going into the sun, I am rebirthed into something new. There's this level of clarity, there's something connects into place. Mercury begins to go through the second half of his journey. However, this time there is Mars. This time there's Mars. There is a Mars. He is sitting right there, right ready for Mercury to go through this rebirth, this fire, this Cazimi, and the star. He's got something to say. He's got something to highlight here. And the galactic center. This is really tying back to me with the galactic center. There is something here. You may still have to figure out what is being revealed to you through this Cazimi. And that could be very, like with this, I love that this star has like the water and the earth. That could be very watery in its clarity. It could be very earthly in its clarity. It could be very esoteric in its clarity. It could be super spicy in its clarity because you do have that flame of Mars here. So there's this moment with the star where if you're not getting the clarity that you need, there's a real interest here to not blame Mars for it. Because that's the easy way out. Look, the easy way out is just to look up and be like, well, it's the star's problem. It's Mars's problem. It's, of course I'm spicy. Mars is sitting right here. Ask yourself if that's really what you want to be. Ask yourself if that's really what you want to hold and align with and understand within your being. Because it's not Mars's fault that he's like right there and that he's making things spicy. He's doing what Mars does. Mars is acting as expected. It is Mercury's responsibility to figure it out. Fault versus responsibility. Mars is really there to help you put the nail in the coffin that you need to put the nail in the coffin in and get you to move on to the next step. No more of this like wishy-washy stuff. And I will tell you this, like, it's going to be so good because I don't know about y'all, but literally this last quarter has felt like nothing but wishy-washy shit. Like, I am ready for Mars to help me put that nail in the coffin, to nail things down, to get the things that I need to make the move to the next step. Show me the right way. So that way I can move forward. Show me the direction forward. I've got my foundation. Tell me where to plant it. Tell me what to do with it. Help me navigate all of that. What do I need to rethink, relearn, reanalyze with this passionate dream that I have to get it to move forward so that way I can maximize everything I can in Capricorn season? One of an analogy that came forward as I was thinking about this, and I know I've heard other astrologers as well say something similar. This Ace of Wands, high effort, high reward. Where's your blessing at? A great analogy in December, especially for this time frame, would be you've been waiting for a package, right? This package is important. It's part of your holiday gifting to a family, whatever it looks like. It's just you were expecting this package to be at your doorstep in time for holiday gifting. Cool. You find out that this package got delivered to the wrong address. Awesome. You've been calling, you've been doing your due diligence, right? You've been taking the action that you need to take. You've been calling, you've been chatting, you've been talking to the person who sent you the package. They told you, well, you got to wait until it gets delivered. So that way, then maybe you can go and get it, or you can block all of the things. Like, there's a process that needs to be followed. You've been following the process. You get frustrated. Things get escalated. You then demand to speak with a supervisor. You get a little snappy with the customer service agent. Let's say it was delivered to an address. You put a note that's just not, it's very short and curt on a door of an individual you don't know, like, give me back my package. Hold on a second, time out. None of what occurred between the package being delivered to the wrong address, between how the resolution came about, none of what occurred is the person that you are speaking to's fault. Why are you mad at them? Why are you mad? Why are you taking it out on them? Why are you battering them with the wand? Find the solution. It may not be the solution you want. You may have to get your money back and move on and never get that present. Well, you know what that means? That means it wasn't for you in the first place. That's a gift. That is a gift. Or maybe you end up getting the package from the person is nice enough and it brings the package to you. But the energy of getting mad at people who are just trying to help you through the process, who does that serve? What does it serve? Nothing. And it could be blocking the Ace of Wands. It could be blocking this, it could be blocking the energy from getting you to where you actually need to go. Again, may not be where you want to go, but it will definitely be where you need to go. So if you want more on the Mercury's full retrograde journey from now until January, you can check out episode 40. That is called Diving into the Cosmic Depths. It is chaptered. It's on YouTube right now. You can go there, check it out. The audio does suck, and I apologize for that. I didn't have my microphone on for that, but information is there. It's still valid. You can still definitely listen to it and get what you need out of it. So moving on, we are going to go over Venus in Sagittarius, Jupiter stationing direct, Chiron, and then we are going to get to the showstopper, this full moon in Cancer. Venus in Sagittarius occurs 12/29/2023 at 2:23 Central Time, PM. And Venus heading into Sag. So she's, working her way through Scorpio right now. Overall, Venus in Sagittarius energy is very friendly. It's a very affectionate, very boisterous, very excitable sort of energy. There's a buoyancy when Venus gets into Sagittarius. There's this all right, let's do this. This is great. It reminds me a lot of fire sprites, this sputtery, tiny, fire sprite energy that is just go, 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 go. Fun, 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 fun. Let's get this done. This year, with Venus's journey through Scorpio and into Sag, and her retrograde in Leo, all of the things that she's done this year, it's coming up from the underworld, which is Scorpio, right? Coming up from the underworld, and Venus then getting into Sag, into this buoyant energy. It's she's got two options. It's the I'm free party girl option, right? Oh my God, I'm back. I'm back, y'all. Let's get the party started. let's do 5-night bingers. Let's go. Or she can come up from the depths and go, you know what? I really need to take a psychologically or, sophisticated, idealistic, kind of in that growth area approach to Sagittarius and what I want to do. Now, because of the journey of Sag this year, because there is a check by Saturn immediately getting into Sag in the square, a check by Neptune leaving Sagittarius in a square, I really feel like this journey you're going to see more of the sophisticated side of Venus in Sagittarius. She is going to try to pull out that energy much, much more, that, again, that if we're talking through archetypes, that queen energy, the archetype of the queen, the archetype of the blesser, the archetype of that balanced energy that allows for a kingdom to thrive. And, that doesn't mean that Venus isn't going to go out and have fun, but it can be the difference between a 3-night binger or going and seeing Andre Renu in concert. Equally as fun, just different, right? Different in their approach, different in the needs, different in how it manifests. I really feel Venus and Sagittarius's transit this year is going to be focused on really strong intuition, intuitive understandings, intuitive insights, intuitive development. And like this, we like that. We like the 10 of Pentacles coming out. This very strong intuition, deep understanding, deep value, deep reward. Like, I'm getting the word reward with this card. And it's the reward of working towards or educating self on things that bring that deep understanding. Like, all of these are like little treasure troves, like little pieces of the puzzle, like little coins to add to your repertoire, your CV, all of like these kind of like, oh my God, look, I learned how to sip whiskey. Oh my God, look, I learned how to set a place. I learned how to eat with these 82 forks and 72 spoons on the thing. I learned how to curtsy. Like, it's just all of these things that go towards this higher learning and higher understanding. Right before she gets to Sagittarius, have to talk about this. Right before she gets to Sag, at the anaretic degree, the 29th degree of any sign, she will sextile Pluto. And I am not joking you, Central Time, this legitimately happens at midnight exactly. Midnight exactly. She sextiles Pluto and then will drop into Sagittarius. So, of course, first image that came to my mind was Cinderella. It was replaying that whole scene when the clock strikes midnight, she runs off, she leaves her shoe. She, is going to turn into a pumpkin. She doesn't want the prince to see, and she is just like barreling for home. And Pluto, we're going to talk about, because Pluto's got some big things happening. That's part of our Twitchy Tip of the week. And I think Venus is really here to support Pluto in that, I think Venus can be a really great reminder for Pluto that, she is in his sign during this time. I get it. But I think she can be a really good reminder for Pluto that, like, hey, there are still humans on the planet Pluto. So can you just keep that in mind as you really fuck shit up at 29 degrees of Capricorn? Thanks. So she can maybe help smooth that over a little bit. But we can't ignore the fact that Jupiter is in Venus's sign. Venus is in Jupiter's sign. when she gets into Sag. So there is this influence between the benefics, and that influence absolutely needs boundaries. Jupiter and Venus together, like, look, it may sound great to have two benefics in the same room doing the same thing, but that can be really overwhelming and really too much of a good thing. So, with this all occurring on the 29th, right after Jupiter's got his energy from going direct, like, all I can say is use your Saturn wisely. Use your Saturn wisely here. Saturn is the one that we go to for boundaries. Use him wisely. Okay. Next up is Jupiter stationing direct. Y'all, on my bingo card, I can't wait. I cannot wait. This is like, we've made it, y'all. That's all. We've made it. 12/30/2024. We still got to get there. It's the 19th. We are going to get there. Everybody's put out we are going to get there. Jupiter will station direct at 8:40 p.m. Central Time Zone at 5 degrees 35 minutes of Taurus. I got to take a sip. Ooh. That's how this Jupiter retrograde has been. It has been one. I don't know about anybody else, but physically, earthly, this retrograde more so, the Fool, this retrograde more so than any others. I'm going to pull 4 cards for this. I want to see what comes out. For me personally, has shown up the Hierophant as in the areas of accomplishing tasks and moving things forward as it pertains to working with others. This whole retrograde has just been on stuck for me in those areas. It's been like a block, no growth allowed. Work can get done, but you're not going to see any like rewards from that work. You're not going to see any like expansion of that work going anywhere. And it's like no growth. There's just zero growth. And even if I pushed myself, which I know better than to do, thankfully, because when that happens, that's always not good. In my own personal practices, like when I am literally blocked, it doesn't matter how hard I push and try it. I'm just going to be spinning. I'm just going to be in a hamster wheel, spinning my wheels. So that's what this retrograde has been like for me. I'd love to hear what it's been like for you. You can pop it in the comment in the chat, and let me know. Let us know, like, what have we been experiencing during this Jupiter retrograde? Because we have the Fool, we have the Hierophant, we have the 6 of Wands, and we have the 7 of Wands. If we haven't been on a journey, look, we have, see, this is what it is. Mercury retrograde. Hello. We have been on this journey. We have gotten, look, when Jupiter stations, it is going to be an effing celebration. Absolute celebration. Yep, there's a but. Always the but. Always the but. So what is the but? What is this 7 of Wands? What are we fighting? What are we doing? What does this station direct mean? And I really feel like it comes within this Fool and this Hierophant. So Jupiter typically will only retrograde once per sign. Sometimes you might get it dipping back into a sign again at the end, but this is his only retrograde in Taurus. This was it. So while it is a celebration, there is a need, just like with all accomplishments going through this Jupiter retrograde in particular, we can't take for granted this station and this direct movement forward. It's about being in gratitude. The Hierophant, It's about being in gratitude. It's about understanding the change that has occurred within you based on what you've learned during this time. It's about taking the new and bold actions forward with the Fool. And it's about fighting for what you believe in, what you have learned, where you are going, fighting maybe even your own inner saboteur, your own inner voice. This may not be actually fighting anybody else but yourself. We do not want to lose all of these, Seven of Wands, hard lessons learned that Jupiter took us through and got us to this point. There's a lot of value in being blocked. There's a lot of value in me understanding that I will hamster wheel if I try to push too hard when I am being blocked. And there's a lot of value in me understanding what's the difference between me being blocked and me just being fucking lazy. They are different. And how do I know that? It's through the process of learning and growing that we get to understand self better. We get to, work through those things and be able to bring those things forward better. So as Jupiter stations direct, as he goes into forward motion, what did you learn? How did you grow? Where are you growing to next? During this retrograde, did you fail at things? If you did, should you try again? If not, why aren't you trying again? And, we have Uranus in this same sign. We have an inevitable Uranus-Jupiter conjunction coming up in the future. Use the time wisely. You need to be able to stabilize your Taurus self. Wherever Taurus is at in your natal chart, whatever house that is or houses, depending upon what you utilize, that is for you, that is the theme that you should be working with, or you could see present. I mean, all of these can sometimes get a little muddled because you've got a whole chart. All of it represents you. But if that theme, let's say third house communication, that theme has been very prevalent during this retrograde for you, that is what Jupiter moving forward, you need to begin to stabilize that energy as it moves forward. So that way, as you get closer and closer to Uranus, shit's not going to go awry. You won't have to fight so hard. And, just working on how Taurus shows up for you. And of course, because the universe does nothing by halves, Jupiter stations direct at 5 degrees of Taurus. That is significant. This 5 degrees of Taurus has been a consistent theme throughout 2023. We are putting the cherry on top with this station. It's another thing, another reason why this is like my big moment in December. I'm very excited about it. It's this moment in time I've been watching. Me and my husband have been watching a lot of the Great British Baking Show. Love that show. Addicted. Totally adore. And this is that moment during the Showstopper challenge, like the last 10 minutes where they're just like trying to put all the finishing touches on it. That's what I got at this 5 degree of Taurus mark. So Jupiter is going to slow down, be at 5 degrees of Taurus for a hot minute, and then pull away from it, start moving forward. That 5 degrees, you got that 10-minute time to make your showstopper sing for the judges. So this 5 degrees was the degree of the Taurus lunar eclipse in October. You should now, once Jupiter moves away from the 5 degrees, we should now be able to feel like the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle is officially transitioned, shut down, closed, tied off, however you were working in that energy, and ready to move towards and really ground into our next eclipse season, which is in the Aries and Libra axis. Through the month, since the start of the end of November, we've been talking about delayed gratification. This is where it all comes together. And this Jupiter stationing direct at 5 degrees, there's some sort of like revelation that could come through here, some sort of truth, maybe justice that can come through. And it's a journey, you know, it's the journey where, looking at the Fool, it's the journey where we are limiting, like, how do I want to put this? Hold on, let me get my words together. Again, Mercury retrograde moments. Okay. We are all individually in a different space on our journey of abundance. Where are we at within that journey? Are we still in limiting our abundance? And even if you are like, I've done a lot of work on this, I've done a lot of work on abundance, but you're still not where you want to be, there's still always more work to do. We will be doing work till we die, till we expire, and then we'll be doing work in the spirit realm. So welcome to being in energy, right? Always doing the work. So where are we limiting our abundance? How are we learning and growing in our relationship with money? How are we learning and developing and growing about our limits and not limiting ourselves? How are we balancing learning, growing, and working with overextension, overindulgence? How do we learn to get what we want and be okay with that and know that we deserve it? And know that the shoe's not going to drop in 5 hot minutes. Know that, you know, not anticipating, well, I got the thing, so now it's obviously time for something, you know, disastrous to happen. So how, just to kind of put this into relative terms, my husband is the manifester of the family. All the males in this family, including Carver, our dog, they are the manifestors of our family. That is not my role. I am not the manifester. I had to learn this, and I also had to be willing to let him lead in that area instead of me trying to control it. I ask him now, babe, I need something. Can you speak this into existence? He speaks it into existence. What is needed? My role is to hold the space and work to generate. I am the generator of this family. Work to generate the energy and circumstances necessary for that desire to come in. It is working in that tandem that we get what we want. That is a very common phrase in our household. We get what we want. What we have learned is we need to be specific in what our ask is. That is key. And that is exceptionally key with Taurus, which is an earth sign, with Jupiter being there. Earth signs show us our consequences. So the consequences of not being specific, we need to get specific, because we got what we wanted. It wasn't exactly what we wanted. We needed to balance it out a little better. We need to get we got what we wanted, but we gotta make some adjustments now. So bringing it back to delayed gratification and us talking about delayed gratification, especially around the holiday time, there are consequences to immediate gratification. There are consequences to overspending, overblessing, impulse buying, go down the list, holiday X, right? There are consequences to all of that. And with the station of Jupiter and this 5-degree point that he's going to be sitting at for a while, you can ask yourself and really dig in and clean up, rectify, close off, energetically tie it. Why do you feel the need to do so? Why do you feel the need to do so? Ooh, look at this. 5 of Cups. That contemplation. Why do you feel the need to do so? The Devil. Ask the hard questions. Get specific. Devil in the details, right? The Knight of Swords. Be very clear on what you want. Be very clear on what is happening. Be very clear on your ask. You can't, look, things are going to be coming in hot and heavy. Jupiter going direct. You cannot be unsure. The universe responds in kind. Temperance. The universe responds in kind to that energy. It will give you exactly what you're putting out. Okay, upcoming alert, end of December to February 2024. Saturn and Jupiter, 10 of Wands, are in a sextile. Get your parameters, get your boundaries, get your shit in order. It is wonderful time to establish your parameters and commit to the things that make you feel good. Carrying 10 wands is exhausting for a long period of time. Why are you doing it? Because Saturn is in Pisces, this is especially important energetically. This is fire. So we're not grounded in earth here. So this is especially aligning with what makes you feel good, setting your boundaries and parameters about your energetics, your spiritual self, the things that you need energetically to tie off, cleanse, get rid of, get off your list, etc., etc. It's almost like cleaning up and setting those parameters around the needs and it's important to do so because the 3D chaos is intensifying. It's not going to get any easier going into 2024. All right, Chiron. We've got Chiron stationing direct, and then we'll head to the full moon in Cancer, and that's going to be our Twitchy Tuesday this week. Chiron stationing direct, 12/26/23, 9:09 p.m. Central Time at 15 degrees, 27 minutes of Aries. So, Chiron, also the node, being in Aries, is sandwiched between Saturn in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus. Right in between these two is Chiron. And I talked about it in November. If y'all remember, if y'all were with me in November, this is 10 of Swords. If y'all were with me in November, I was like, where's Chiron? Chiron's been like quiet. What is happening? And we talked about it then. And I said very clearly, you don't forget about Chiron. Like, that's going to come back and bite you if you're just like, oh, I don't need to pay attention to my healing. I don't need to do that. Going to come back and bite you. Them 10 swords, they're going to come back. So there are 3 parts of your chart. Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. Your natal chart, that can be a huge amount of territory. That can be multiple houses that you are dealing with. That can be a lot of territory to cover. You've got the physical reality of Saturn and how that's being manipulated in Pisces. You've got the mix with Uranian themes, these otherworldly gifts in the 3D coming into the very real earth of Taurus. And Chiron in Aries is sitting here focusing you on the actions that you need to take, your work that needs to be done, your shadow work, your healing, your growth, so you can bring those otherworldly gifts that support your Saturn and Pisces, your spiritual growth, and reach heights that you didn't think were possible in the real world, that were only in your imagination. That's this moment. And it's only going to get more as we go through 2024, 2025, because Chiron's going to get into Taurus for the first time June 2026. That's what we're building towards. All of this work, all of this, what we're doing here in Aries, all of that is working towards June 2026. So when I was thinking about Chiron stationing direct, I got the image of, oh, here comes this 10 of Wands. Look, I mean, yo, these are exhausting. Do the work. Do the work. Just do the work. You don't want to carry this into 2026. Why would you want to carry this into 2026? That is a lot, yo. That's not only carrying, like those are 10 daggers in your back, and not add insult to injury, right? Here you've got 10 daggers in your back, add insult to injury. I'm going to make you carry those daggers up a goddamn hill. Why? We don't need that. We don't need to do that. We can face this. We can face all of these. We can do our inner work. We can talk to our inner child. We can go through all of these things. We can absolutely find out what's happening with both of these, because this was the image I got. I got the image of a red pulsing light. It's not blinding. It's not something you can't ignore. It's literally like this little reminder in the background that there's still work that needs to be done. There's still these 2 10s that are out there that need to be rectified. And it's this soft red light that blinks. It's trying to get your attention. It has something very important to say. You need to see, you have to be able to see it to know it. There's something, obviously, there is something that you want to pay attention to with this soft red light, this blinking. And truly, it is getting you prepared. It's getting you prepared and showing you what is needed, because April's eclipse of 2024 is literally the eclipse of Chiron. It all starts here. It all starts with this Chiron stationing direct. It's being illuminated by the Cancer full moon, which we'll talk about in a second. I'll show you where that is on the chart. It's preparing us. And you may open this box and find out you actually don't have a lot of wands. You actually aren't carrying a lot. All of this is just old, and you just got to clear it out. It might not be as daunting as this looks, but you don't know until you look at it. You don't know until you see that red blinking light. I got the image of, if y'all have seen Dante's Peak, love Dante's Peak. At the very end, right, they're underneath everything, and he turns on the NASA pack, the elf pack, I think it was called. And they're monitoring way off, and this red light has been blinking for a couple of days. Nobody noticed it. Or if they did, they didn't flag it as something important. And then all of a sudden this guy comes and he's like, hold on. How long has that light been blinking for? And the person's like, I don't know, a couple of days. And he just sits there and goes, thank you, NASA. Thank you, NASA. Because you could be, Dante's Peak is a volcano movie for those that haven't seen it. These people, I don't want to kind of give it away, but they're stuck. They are stuck. 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. They are stuck. The only hope that they have is this soft blinking red light they hope somebody's going to notice to come and save them. And they get saved. This goes away now. It's done. We don't need these anymore. These are done. They're done. Thank you, NASA. Right? So that could be what happens. But you got to pay attention to that light. You got to pay attention to the soft moments. From my experience, this has shown up for me. This Chiron journey has truly shown up for me as an opportunity to rewrite my stories. Thinking about both of those 10s. I have a lot of trauma around my stories. I have a lot of trauma that I still hold on to from past experiences. So that was my whole theme of 2022, 2021, rewriting my stories. And it's just really continued, which is including 2 weeks ago. My last trip to Arizona 2 weeks ago, I still had an opportunity to rewrite my story. I still had an opportunity to face my 10 of swords, face my 10 of wands, and make it into something different. And I did that. It's the continual questioning and uncovering the truth of who I am, of who I am not, of what my story represents, of my true story, of my being, and knowing that that story can change over time as I change and grow, learning that I am not a victim, that I can pull myself out of limited beliefs all through talking and embracing and facing that 10 of swords and that 10 of wands and working through it, going to therapy, all of those things. So that has been, my Chiron journey and how those things show up for me. So again, that's my blinky red light. Maybe there will be more that come up as we get to Chiron stationing direct, as we get to the Cancer full moon, and as the eclipse in April begin to, honestly, I'm in Texas. It's going to be right here as it begins to really pulsate and really show like the colors, show this Chiron eclipse season. Okay. Full moon in Cancer time. I'm actually going to, okay. I'm not going to switch up cards. I brought out another deck, but they're like, no, you're on a roll. Keep moving. Keep rolling. All right. Full moon in Cancer. So let's bring up the chart for this full moon in Cancer. And now I've got to figure out where the chart there. Hi, here it is. Okay. The full moon in Cancer is going to occur. You can see it up here. We've got December 26th. That is going to happen at 6:33 p.m. Central Time. So just make sure that you're adjusting for your time zone. I did pull a transit chart. So depending upon how you work with moons, depending upon how you work with charts, feel free. But this will show the ascendant at 16 degrees, 11 minutes of Cancer. And okay, so Sun and the moon. This is the sun over here in Capricorn, opposing the moon over here in Cancer at 4 degrees, 58 minutes. This opposition is what creates the full moon. Conjunctions are new moons, oppositions are full moons. So we have an opposition of the sun and the moon occurring at 4 degrees, 58 minutes of Cancer. The Sabian symbol will be up on YouTube as well as on X tomorrow. So you can go check that out, get into the vibe of the Sabian symbol. So let's talk about what's aspecting with this moon before I get into, how I interpreted this moon, because this was a very interesting one. So Jupiter, our friend way up here, still retrograde in the sign of Taurus at 5 degrees, 36 minutes. You can see here is sextiling the moon and trining the sun. Additionally, we have Saturn over here in Pisces at 2 degrees, 49 minutes. That is then trining the moon. So for my map, what I have pulled through my transit chart is any line that is really dark is very prominent. That means it's closer in orb to each other, if not exact. As the line, as that goes away, as that orb grows bigger, the line becomes less and less bold. So you can see this trine and this sextile to the moon from Jupiter is the prominent energy here. We also have a square, which we'll talk about in a second. The trine to Saturn is still very prevalent. So absolutely still an energy signature that we'll get into. And then down here in Sagittarius, we have Mercury and Mars being at 23 degrees, 37 minutes. Mercury at the time of this moon at 25 degrees, 18 minutes, still retrograde. That is a very close, almost conjunction that they're going to be making a few days after this moon. And they are hot and heavy in Sagittarius. And they are hot and heavy in a square dance with Neptune, which is at 25 degrees even of Pisces during this moon. And you can see here with this square, this just occurs right before, let me see, working backwards. Yes, right before Mercury and Neptune meet up. So we'll talk about some of the other configurations here in a second because we've got Venus and Neptune going. But just to level set with this moon, I struggled. When I sat down with this moon, I'm not going to lie, this was a struggle moon for me because I may even start crying, y'all. Just let the tears flow. Let's have the moment. It's so soft and gentle, this moon. There is something so like delicate about this moon. I literally, as I was sitting here, I couldn't pull apart my feelings from the facts about this moon. I just wanted to cry the whole time. The whole time I was looking at this moon, the whole time I was trying to come up with like the energy, the signatures, all I could feel was the absolute softness and delicateness to this moon that made me want to cry, made me want to like just bundle, like I even want to like cover up and bundle and just be a crybaby. Like that's how this moon is making me feel. There's something very relevant. We've got this sextile to the moon, this strong trine here. There's something very relevant with the Cancer, which this is the glyph for Cancer, and the Taurus. This is the glyph for Taurus. There's something really relevant when Cancer and Taurus have such a strong aspect. Jupiter is this benefic, the moon being in Cancer, our home life, like this reminded me of like the nostalgia, like ultimate nostalgia, like watching nostalgic movies, listening to the classics, like the classic music, watching, I loved cartoons as a kid, watching like your favorite old cartoons. Like this is like a Cartoon Network moment for those that are like, older, born in the 80s, even beforehand, right? Like it's one of those moments where, like watching White Christmas. It's homey things. It's looking at old pictures. It's like going through the picture albums with Grandma Nan. It's yummy foods. It's very like comfort foods. Like you might mess around and just make, craft macaroni and cheese during this moon. You may like, oh my gosh, I just want a grilled cheese sandwich, but I don't want anybody's grilled cheese sandwich. I want my mama's grilled cheese sandwich. So I'm going to go over to my mama's house and get it. Like that. This is how delicate and how tender this moon is. And then we have Saturn here in this trine in Pisces. And this is where Saturn, even though it is, it's 2 degrees apart, Saturn brings you the box of tissues. Saturn is the box of tissues. Saturn's the box of tissues that you can like cry into. You can just pour all of your heart out. It's like the handkerchief that you get. I mean, speaking of nostalgic things, who has a handkerchief? Well, there we go. You get a handkerchief during this full moon. And it's this structure of which we feel safe to cry in with Saturn here in this trine. It's the, watching the waterworks come through. There's this, look, they want me to talk about it. This is also probably a reason why I was like, I want to cry the whole time. There is such a sense of loss that I am feeling this year, more so than any other year. I mean, look, It sounds really weird to say that because literally we've been through 2020, 2021, 2022, but there's something about 2023 that has such deep loss to it. And especially that loss being super relevant right now, right at this time, right in time for this moon. And yes, it's death. That we have to acknowledge that. Yes, it is death. But the word loss can take so many different forms. And death is relevant, but it's loss of something else. It's more than that. Like, loss can take the form of like, this is the first year that you're not going home for the holidays. It's the first year that you're not, you're spending the holidays with your partner's family versus yours. It's, this might be the first year that the kiddos are doing non-red suit wearing things, right? If you catch my drift, don't know if the kids are listening. Don't want to put that out there. But it might be, it's like this loss of, oh my gosh, what's the word? Hold on, please. It will come again. It's the loss of like being a child, like the loss of childhood wonder, there's a word specific to this. If you know what it is, pop it in the chat, pop it in the discussion box, the box at the end, whatever it needs to be. But it is really this loss of our youth, loss of our, I don't know. Yeah. I know I keep saying that, and it's just, it's something that's more felt than has words to describe it, which is relevant since feelings are in a different part of the brain than our words. Chiron. So let me show you where Chiron is. Chiron's at the top of this chart right here in Aries at 15 degrees, 27 minutes. You see this S right here where Chiron is. That means Chiron is stationing direct. Yes, we just got done talking about him. So Chiron to me is really prevalent in influencing this. More so than any other time, right? We have this moon. This moon is soft and tender. This moon feels delicate, feels very emotional, feels very with that sense of loss. And here's Chiron, the healer, stationing direct. And this moon might be a time where we end up facing mortality more so than ever. This moon might be preparing us to face mortality more than ever. I truly, and we'll get to 2024, we'll get to the 2024 overview, but I truly feel that there is going to be significant changes to our world in 2024. How that's going to happen, I don't know. But I think that we're going to look back at this moon and remember that this moon was helping us embrace what was to come. That it was trying to highlight, illuminate what things we need to embrace what is to come. And overall, 2023 just needs to be over. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but 2023 just needs to be over. So, we don't want to skip the integration. I know, I hear you, ancestors. Thank you. We do not want to skip the integration, but damn, do we I'm ready to go to the next stage. And I know that probably means I'm absolutely not ready to go to the next stage. Ready to get 2023 over with, ready to get through this. And this is where this Neptune, which is right here at that 25 degrees of Pisces, trining Venus, which is down here at 26 degrees, 34 minutes of Scorpio. This trine is really pertinent because I feel like Neptune and Venus in this trine is here to give us that sense of optimism that we might need, give us that last like little kick to get us through it. It's this sense that, you know, no matter what is to come, it's exactly what it needs to be. And more so, we are equipped to handle it. We are equipped to handle it. So that's why this moon is very interesting to me, because yes, there is this loss, but it's not deprecating. It's not making us stuck. It's not stopping us. It's like, yes, it will happen. I am equipped to handle it. Doesn't mean it's not going to suck. Doesn't mean it's not going to be easy. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to have a problem with it, but I am equipped to handle it. I am enough. That to me is this trine between Neptune and Venus beforehand, during this moon, and after, as they go, you know, as they begin to lead up to this trine exact, the moon separate from the trine. It is a moment of knowing that we are enough. We are equipped to handle it. So overall, with this moon, give yourself and others grace. This moon is a shared experience. We are in a shared collective. Give yourself and others grace. They may not be ignoring you. They literally may just be in a box of tissues. So there's your moon. Before I unveil the Twitchy tip of the week, I'd like to invite you to explore more of what Habitual Sages has to offer. If you are finding value in our cosmic journey, consider giving us a high five by liking this video, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and checking out our other enlightened videos and sharing them across. Like, if you're finding value in this, share it out with your community. We are also very, very active on X. We've got exclusive content there that you can't get on other social platforms. So make sure you're heading over to X and following us there as well. You can catch these shows live on X too. I do stream live to both YouTube and X simultaneously. And while you're at it, it is not too late to check out the December All Signs reading. And the All Signs Tarot reading is chaptered, so you can go straight to the sign that you align with, or signs that you align with the most, get all the details, all the guidance. The month, we're at the 19th. The month ain't over yet. We still got work to do. So I didn't get to record the solstice reading like I talked about. Sunday was not a good energy day for me, so didn't want to bring that into readings. I'll be doing it this weekend, though. I'll be doing not only the solstice reading, which is going to be a 3-month reading anyway, so still very relevant, and the month ahead reading. So we'll get to January's month reading as well. And in just a few days, the solstice, I will be launching 2 new offerings at Habitual Sages. I'm so excited about them. We will obviously be talking about them in future episodes, but you can find out all of the information when they are launched at www.habitualsages.com. That's the website address right there. And of course, while you are there, consider joining the Sage Circle, subscribing to that email list, so that way you are in the know. All right, Twitchy tip of the week, and we are out of here. Tomorrow, Pluto lovingly embraces the 29th degree of Capricorn. We are here. We will never see 28 degrees of Capricorn again. Bye-bye. See you later. Deuces. We talked about this before, but 29 degrees is the anaretic degree. And while most planets at an anaretic degree are tired, they're exhausted, they're getting through, they've got to make that last push into the next sign. They need a little pick-me-up. Pluto, in my opinion, takes an incredibly different approach with an anaretic degree. Like, Pluto at an anaretic degree is like, hold my fucking beer. Hold my fucking beer. Watch what I fuck up now. So this is where, to me, Pluto is very prone to not taking it easy, not being tired, but actually turning it up a notch and going for extremes. This is like season fucking finale time, y'all. This is last hurrah. This is all right. What are we going to do? And it's not that he ain't going to be back here. He's going to be back here. But Pluto don't care. If I'm at this last degree, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it happen. I am going to make it memorable. So he will go through the 29-degree point for an entire month. He will ingress into Aquarius on 1/20/2024 at 6:50 p.m. Central Time. An entire month he will be transiting the 29th degree. That is a lot of time to fuck shit up. So watch urgency, haste, being extreme things occurring in the world, hasty things occurring in the world, people trying to manipulate you into being urgent when you know you shouldn't be, heightened fear techniques. Pluto loves to work in fear, loves to work in that fear area. Watch lies lies all over, and watch Aquarian things start to bubble up. We've already seen some of that. We've already seen some of the AI changes. We've already seen some of these Aquarian themes. We talked about medical technology, anything around technology, transformation. Who holds the technology holds the power. Watch power shifts happening. So this 29-degree Twitchy tip of the week is, this is your opportunity to show how you have transformed the Capricorn area of your life, the Capricorn areas of your life. And then I wanted to end the Twitchy tip of the week with a quote that I just loved by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. I thought it just was relevant and it landed. So we will end with this quote. The way that you make people resilient is by voluntarily exposing them to things they are afraid of, and that makes them uncomfortable. So that's a quote for they. Let's put this in a you. The way you make yourself resilient is by voluntarily exposing yourself to things that you are afraid of, and that makes you uncomfortable. Welcome to 29 degrees of Capricorn with Pluto. All right. That is it for this Twitchy Tuesday, episode 43 done. We will catch you next week. Enjoy the solstice. Blessed Yule to all of you out there. Happy Capricorn season. And yeah, we will catch you next week. Bye, everyone.